What's up, YouTube? Tim Movies here. Now, here is my Throwback 7, where I talk about the films that turns 10, 20, and 30. Alright, the films that, holy cow, the films that are celebrating its 10th anniversary, we got the movie Snitch. Now, Snitch actually starred Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and you also had like Susan Sarandon, Barry Pepper, John Barenthal, Benjamin Bratt, the late Michael K. Williams. And the plot focuses on John Matthew, who goes undercover for the DEA after his estranged son, Jason Collins, is framed in a drug deal by his best friend. You know, Dwayne Johnson, whenever obviously you think of him, you always think of like his action films and his action roles and everything like that. Snitch was actually the movie that made me go, Dwayne Johnson is more than that. Like, Dwayne Johnson could be a capable actor. Because, man, his performance in this, I kid you not, I thought it was an Oscar performance. That's right. An action movie like this starring Dwayne Johnson, you would not expect anyone to say that it felt a little Oscar worthy. I mean, I just thought Dwayne Johnson was terrific in this. One of his best not his best movie in my opinion, but one of his best performances, and he really showcased he really goes every length to try to get his son off and everything like that. To get his name clear and try and get his son out of jail or stepson, I believe. But still, this movie is really treating so fun. John Bernthal was awesome in this movie. I mean, I've seen John Bernthal beforehand, but this was actually my first like major introduction to Bernthal, and he crushed it here. Susan Sarandon was great. I really enjoyed this movie. It was directed by Rick Roman Way, who also directed the last two Olympus Has Fallen. He also directed that Gerard Butler movie, Greenland. He's done some hits and misses, and this is a really intriguing film. If you guys haven't seen that, and 2013 was actually a pretty good year for Dwayne Johnson, by the way, because he actually followed this off with GI Joe Retaliation, Pain and Gain. So 2013 was a really solid year for Johnson. Anyway, also turning 10, we got the not so great movie Dark Skies. Now, Dark Skies stars Kerry Russell, who's also in that new Cocaine Bear movie out. You also got Josh Hamilton, who was in the movie Eighth Grade. And you also got Dakota Gale, who 2 years prior played Hugh Jackman's son in Real Steel. And J.K. Simmons is in this. If you guys don't know much about the story here, it's where like Lacey, played by Kerry Russell, and Daniel Barrett, played by Josh Hamilton, shares a peaceful life in the suburbs with their sons Jesse and Sam. However, that peace soon is shattered with a series of disturbing events that escalate, and when it becomes clear that their family is being targeted by an unimaginable, terrifying, deadly, and possibly alien threat. Dan and Lacey draw on their courage and determination to protect their family and identity. I remember watching this one in theaters as well. It was terrible. I mean, I love Kerry Russell. Obviously, going all the way back to Felicity. Kerry Russell is always terrific, but this was a horrible film. The performances was great. It was really boring at times. I'm like, what the heck is this, man? But yeah, I have no idea what the heck was going on in this. It's a boring flick, so yeah, I cannot really recommend this one. All right, the film's turning 20, one of the best comedies of that year, and that is Todd Phillips' directed film, Old School. Now, Todd Phillips, of course, directed iconic comedies like the Hangover movies. Obviously, he did Joker recent. And Old School stars the likes of Will Ferrell, Vince Vaughn, Luke Wilson, Jeremy Piven, Juliette Lewis. You had Leah Remini was also in this. Sean William Scott. Snoop Dogg has a fun cameo. And the film stars Wilson, Vaughn, and Ferrell as depressed men in their 30s who seeks to relieve their college days by starting a fraternity and the tribulation they encounter in doing so. And of course, you got Will Ferrell playing one of his most iconic roles of Frank the Tank. I love Old School. It's like so fun. It's very relatable. It's very quotable. The three have great chemistry with one another. I still remember when they were trying to get a sequel going. I mean, that's been like there's it's been years. I remember when they were actually trying to announce a sequel. Like there was words about a sequel happening, but never came to fruition. I mean, I guess it will be weird for like people in their 50s now should still try to go to college and stuff like that. But Old School is a really fun film. I mean, 2 years before Vince Vaughn crashed weddings, he crashed the college. So there's that. But yeah, this is a really funny film if you guys never seen that. All right. Also turning 10, we got the Kevin Spacey film, The Life of David Gale. It was directed by Alan Parker, who directed Pink Floyd, The Wall, Mississippi Burning, Evita, and starred Kevin Spacey before everything went south with him. He also had Kate Winslet, Laura Linney, Gabriel Mann, a very young Melissa McCartney. And here you got Kevin Spacey who plays this character who's this eponymous character, a college professor and a longtime activist against a capital punishment, who is sentenced to death for killing a fellow capital punishment opponent. This movie is really good. Kevin Spacey's like, yeah, say what you want about Kevin Spacey now. I mean, it's very awkward to really talk about Kevin Spacey because obviously what's going on with him. But take that aside. Kevin Spacey has always been a great actor. Whether it's like his Oscar winning turns in The Usual Suspects or American Beauty. And here he really showcased his talents perfectly. Kate Winslet was great. Laura Linney was terrific. Really good film if you guys ever seen that. All right, also turning 10, we got the movie Dark Blue, which was directed by Ron Shelton, who's best known for directing the sport classics like Bull Durham, White Man Can't Jump. And this was also written by David Ayer, who will go on to direct Suicide Squad. And if you guys don't know much about Dark Blue, it's based on a true story, and takes place like during the days leading up to the Rodney King trial verdict. And you got the likes of Kurt Russell, Scott Speedman, Brendan Gleeson, Master P was in this, Ving Rhames. Really decent film. The performances are great. I remember watching this one on TV years ago. I thought it was a really good flick. You had great performances by Ving Rhames. Kurt Russell was great in this. Really decent flick if you guys ever seen that. Also turning 20. Oh boy, not so great classic Gods and General. Gods in General had a really cool cast. You had Stephen Lang as Stonewall Jackson, Jeff Daniels as Lieutenant Colonel Joshua Chamberlain, Robert Duvall as General Robert Lee, and it's pretty much like an epic prequel to get to the classic movie, the '90s film Gettysburg. Remember that one? And it's examining like the early days of the American Civil War through the experiences of three historical figures. And this movie is not a great film. Gettysburg is terrific. I mean, that is a way too long film, but Gettysburg was really good. But why they did a sequel has always been beyond me. But you had some good cast here whose their talent was wasted. One of Robert Duvall's worst performances here. I love Stephen Lang, but he wasn't great. I mean, yeah, the visuals was okay, but this movie was just not so great. It just not really make what made Gettysburg really good. Like the story elements in this was great. Like you know, it was not even all that accurate. I mean, yeah, this is a really blatant bad fluck. All right, now film turning 30. Oh boy, we got a great one. We got the third Evil Dead film, Army of Darkness. Starring Bruce Campbell once again back as Ash Williams. Of course, directed by Sam Raimi, who will go on to direct. Um, Obviously, he would go on to direct the Spider-Man movies. He, of course, directed the first two Evil Dead. Of course, we got the new Evil Dead movie coming out this year, which sadly does not have Bruce Campbell in it. I cannot wait for that Evil Dead. Evil Dead Rise looks awesome, man. But Army of Darkness is awesome. It's pretty much like a medieval film set in the Evil Dead world. You also had like Bridget Fonda, Bill Moseley, and then it follows Ash Williams, played by Campbell, as he is trapped in the Middle Ages and battles the undead in the quest to return to the present. Army of Army of the Darkness is awesome. It's so fun, so violent, very campy. I mean, Bruce Campbell just plays Ash Williams perfectly. Of course, he will go on to play the character again in Ash vs. Evil Dead, and a little bit at the end of the 2015 Evil Dead film. But man, Army of the Dead is really cool. Something they always wait till like 10 years to make another Evil Dead film. Because of course, after Army of Darkness, we will not get like 10 years after. We will of course get Evil Dead, the Fede Alvarez remake. Then like 10 years after that, we of course got Evil Dead Rise coming out. So I'm guessing the next Evil Dead movie probably won't come out until 2033. I'm guessing, but whatever. Anywho, all right, now also turning 10, we got Falling Down. Now, this is, I guess you could say the movie Joker. This was actually one of the inspirations for Joker, for the recent Joker movie we had. And here was directed by Joe Schumacher, who, of course, directed, Batman Forever, Batman Robin, Phone Booth, which is maybe one of my favorite movies of his. Joe Schumacher was always terrific director. Take the Batman movies aside. This is a guy who gave us The Lost Boys. I believe he gave us Flatliners, if I'm not mistaken. Joe Schumacher gave us some great stuff, and Falling Down was one of them. Of course, starring Michael Douglas, who could be seen there now in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. The aforementioned Robert Duvall's in this, Barbara Hershey, Lois Smith, Tuesday Wild, and the film centers on Foster as he treks on foot across the city of Los Angeles, trying to reach the house of his estranged wife in time for his daughter's birthday. And along the way, like a series of encounters, both tribal and provocative, causes him to react with increasing violence and make sardonic observations on life. And of course, you got like Robert Duvall, who plays this aging LA detective trying to track down Foster. You can definitely tell why the movie Joker. This was inspired by Joker too, because definitely this is a little bit of the same plot that we just had with Joker. But Falling Down is great. One of Michael Douglas's best performances. I cannot believe it's dirty though. Something's wrapping in my head that this came out like 20 years ago, but dirty. Wow. Oh boy, Barbara Hershey was on screen in this. If you guys have never seen Falling Down, it is one of the most fun movies of 1993. It's very intriguing, very entertaining. Definitely give Falling Down a go. All right, also turning 30, we got El Mariachi. Of course, this was actually the directorial debut by Robert Rodriguez, and who, of course, go on to direct other films in this trilogy. He always called this, I believe the Mexican trilogy. Of course, this was followed up. El Mariachi was followed up by Desperado and Once Upon a Time in Mexico, both starring Antonio Banderas. But this one actually starred a different actor as the role of El Mariachi. Like I said, the character would, of course, be portrayed by Antonio Banderas in Desperado and Mexico. So there's that. Of course, Salma Hayek was in Desperado. Come on, I love Desperado, man. Once upon a time, Mexico was cool too, but Desperado was great. But anywho. Now here, of course, you got El Mariachi, who just wants to play his guitar and carry on his family tradition. Unfortunately, the town he tries to find work in has another visitor, a killer who carries his guns and in like a guitar case, and the drug lord and his henchmen mistake El Mariachi for the killer Ezo and chase him down, trying to kill him and get his guitar. Now I probably prefer Desperado over this one, to be honest here, but El Mariachi is a really good flick. Like the act, I'll always keep forgetting the actor's name. But the guy who played El Mariachi was really good. It was very violent. Definitely, this one pretty much showcased Robert Rodriguez's talent. Of course, he would go on to direct Desperado. He would go on to do Spy Kids and everything. And this is a really intriguing film if you guys never seen it. It has some cool music to it. Rob Rodriguez did great with this. I mean, definitely give El Mariachi a go. But that's pretty much it there. Let me leave you guys. Which of these films stand out to you the most? To me, the 10-year one will go to Snitch. 20-year one, Old School, and obviously the 30 one will go. Army of Darkness is great, but I'm probably gonna go with Falling Down. That's actually my favorite out of that list. Anyway, drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Sumi signing.